Yes.
Okay, he counts it out. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Pays for the drink tokens. Success!
I'll jingle them in my little hands for a moment. I'll get a little bit of flute. Jingle, jingle, jingle. Put them away.
Kisner waves you off and goes waddling back to the drink. Darfa, I've made a transaction! And he makes this kind of like quick and holy symbol like someone who's made that hand motion 1,000 times before. We shall pass the time with drink. He slaps the hand of this tiefling merchant. So far, we've deduced that Poopsie is not magical.
I'll go back to detecting magic on this doll, trying to narrow down.
Detecting what it is? Yeah, give me a spellcraft check to figure out what the doll is.
Yeah. Ooh. It's nice not rolling Gracchus on some of these magic things.
Are you done with Bassie? I don't think she likes to be pet that way.
20?
They're holy symbols.
Quite peculiar, my dear. Quite peculiar.
Poopsie got annoyed with you and is now sniffing at Ludo.
Yes.
It hopped up on the bench and is like, she's kind of approaching. She growls a little bit.
Ludo's trying to feed it some, like, pocket lint. That's all he has.
Feeding it pocket lint. Okay, give me a handle animal. The DC for Poopsie is 20. She's a difficult beast.
Handle That's what I probably don't have. What's the alternative to that?
Was it wisdom handle animal?
Charisma's handle animal.
Oh, charisma, yeah.
You can give me a knowledge nature if you wanted. That's an int.
Char, right? You char guy?
Okay. Here. Sorry.
It's alright.
Oops.
Zephyros, do you say anything to the man that is casting spells that is now identifying the girl's doll in plain sight? Okay, Poopsie doesn't like your lint. She sneezes, or he, you're not sure. Maybe it's a she. And it is now trying to, like, nip at you.
I take my helmet off and use it as a temporary shield. Like, what is wrong with this thing?
Poopsie, leave the Yondon alone, she says. She hops down in a hurry and scoops up Poopsie. Like, apparently Poopsie doesn't care, or doesn't feel any ill will towards Cassandra. He's a Yondon. He might put you in a stupor.
Eat the dog?
That's what you Yondans did, didn't you? When you were all refugees? And you were all hungry?
No, we ate lint. That's why I was feeding it lint.
You ate lint?
No, we ate other things, but I really don't want to go back to that memory.
Oh. You're not going to eat us, are you?
No. Now what do you aristocrats eat?
Good stuff. Plums and sugar candies, and
I'd like some confectionery, she says.
she's kind of like
hinting that...
Well, I got lint. Unless you drink, I got some tokens.
Tokens, you say? Drinking?
You there?
Yes.
You've yet to find your seat.
Yes, thank you again for letting me see your dolly. I'll give it a somewhat awkward pat on the head and hand it back to her, being careful not to get too close to Poopsie.
Okay.
There you go. You can sit by Annie. Yes.
Strange.
Annie's a dog, a dark furred dog-headed doll.
It's got some serious magical shit over there, guys.
Ludo is now eyeing Chalmers. He's doing coin tricks between his fingers. The sleight of hand. Staring at him.
With the drink tokens?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will sleight of hand one out of my pocket and wink at him as I turn away.
We got a winner.
Frozen Gnomes, yeah. So we've got Luke, Neil, Levi, and Matt.
Aye.
They are playing. Luke is playing a professor. Matt is playing Pharisee, the Fey Witch Bard. The professor is a magus. Neil is playing a Fant Wizard, an Evoker. And Levi is playing a Halfling Rogue Ninja.
It's a mouthful.
Ninja Rogue?
It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
I would turn away from the little girl after I wink at the halfling who mentioned drinking and make my way over to these wealthy-looking fellows over here.
Okay. They look like they've been already drinking, like maybe they've been waiting in the train, or maybe they didn't even drop off their bags and went directly here. They've been drinking for some time. You've got far to catch up.
Well, you look like a lively bunch. Is this seat taken, lads?
Not really leaving them time to respond. I'll launch into Los
Yeah, so the bar area doesn't actually have seats. It's kind of like a walk-up area.
Yeah.
And there's this kind of trapped in the middle of it, this very meek-looking Rakastan male. But you walk up to the bar. What will you have?
I will take one of your strongest.
We have whiskey.
We're in luck. Whiskey is my favorite.
I'll slide over token.
Okay.
And
He asks you with sort of like a tilt of the bottle if you want a whiskey as well.
Ludo, given his height, is jumping and he goes, I want a mead.
I'm sorry, we don't have any mead, but you could have an ale if you want.
He does a pull up and hangs over the bar. Is it dwarven whiskey?
No, I'm afraid it is not dwarven whiskey. It is station whiskey.
He just kind of slams his head on the counter, like, okay, that'll do.
He pours the whiskey out.
I kind of like messed him with like a coin trick, like I'm gonna drop it and I catch it and do these things with him, and then I finally
He goes to
get
take
to
it
him.
a couple of times, and he pauses last time, and he just takes your.
I'm sorry, buddy. I've seen a bit of luck lately. I'm on high spirits.
I'll
He kind of casts a glance, almost like wistfully, towards what looks like a tip jar. The tip jar is woefully low. There's a few copper pennies kind of at the bottom of it, and he just goes about cleaning things and serving.
It's a good one. It's a good one, Durfar. It's good that I've met you. Hello there.
Hello. Allow me to introduce myself. Professor Henry Sinclair Chalmers III at your service. Professor of the Metabuster University.
Oh, a learned one. You must be careful.
Yes, my good sirs, I've spent my life and my vast fortune in the pursuit of knowledge. And let me tell you, I have paid it quite dearly and reaped numerous benefits.
Oh,
I'll wink at them.
But
benefits.
we should drink, good sirs.
And I'll offer a toast.
Okay. This large boggard seems to be quite friendly. You thought that boggards were like savage and bestial, but this one seems to be quite congenial. You don't like the shifty glances from the kind of half-drunk tiefling.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of wheezing as well. He's got something wrong with his lungs. Kind of like a really, really raspy wheeze.
But I am Butrarek, a cleric amongst other things. It is good to meet fellow men.
Yes, and clarity through drink, good sirs.
Curious term and phrase, but
Who might you be? Is that your London servant?
Oh, this fellow? Well, what was your name again?
I'm Ludo, and as he's kind of like slipping down the bar as he's trying to hang on, and I like rocks. I spent a lot of time underground, and I like drinking.
Rocks, did you say?
Beautiful ones, sometimes.
Come over here, Ludo, so you can tell me all about mining.
He hops on the bar and runs over. Sits down in the corner.
Okay, Bukerbeck shuffles over here. Apparently he wants to hear about mining. What do you know about mining?
Oh,
This is the dwarf.
sidestep over towards this guy.
Well, see, you take a pickaxe or a shovel or bombs, it's up to you, and you hit it, whatever you like, really hard. And the trick is to find these rivers or veins of rocks. And when you find those, oh, are you in the money? But it's...
Are you making fun of me, boy?
Is that the dwarf?
Yeah, it's the dwarf. You ran over, sat down, kind of
Right in front of him.
jostled this tankard he was drinking out of, and now you're in a
I kind of turn to him and go,
dwarf.
hey, we're both
Explaining mining to a dwarf.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Ludo thinks quick, pulls out a drink token, and whatever for the dwarf. Sorry, son.
He seems to have got a seat that's really close to the bar. Like, all he has to do is stand up from his seat, and he's at the bar. He's got a bunch of packs and things. It looks like he, too, came directly to the car number 6, whereas you guys had gone to the sleeper first. He accepts your drink token as sort of an apology.
Brothers in ore, as I slide his drink over to him.
So you're one of the lucky ones, is what he says.
Yeah, you might say that. You can make your own luck some days.
Thanks, luck.
I have yet to ever heard of halfling luck. Seems my people are looked quite down upon here.
They're doing it all wrong. They're doing it all wrong.
Ludo kind of looks at him like, and?
Back in the days of my grandpappy, they built great mines. Great mines. Mines that you could live in. Mines that you'd be proud to call home. And then come along, you greedy, greedy bastards. Making mines so wee that only the hen folk could fit inside. Using your bombs to explode the rock. That's why I said you're the lucky one. Doesn't look like you're missing any bits.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Ludo kind of looks at him like, it's kind of funny. You're mad because I'm smaller than you. That's a first. I've never heard that one before.
Sovereignty's using you.
Oh. How so? As he sips his whiskey. He takes a big gulp of whiskey at this point.
Ain't got no use to holes that you crawl and die in.
Ah.
Mining. They're like worms.
Rather unfriendly fellow down at the end of the bar there.
Very interesting, yes, but very efficient they are. And efficiency means more profit.
I'll drink to that. Finishes the rest of his whiskey.
Teaching dwarves how to mine. You are making fun of me.
the dwarf picks up his stuff and marches over to another part of the...
He's having a really bad train ride.
Yeah, the Phantom ate all the buns beforehand, and then a halfling telling him how to mine. Zephyros, what are you doing? Are you just trying to settle in on the small bench?
Yeah, I'm just sitting very uncomfortably and observing what's going on. Rather satisfied that the professor has passed down the aisle and made his way to the bar. I was a little concerned there for a while with the dog. I didn't want the dog to run and land up under one of my feet. I don't want to step on it.
The dog has done this kind of like tailspin kind of turn and eventually bedded down on a blanket. However, Cassandra has moved over on the benches and she's got 2 of her dolls. She's got Annie and Mr. Blue. Is that what I called him?
Mm-hmm.
Did I observe any of the identification that went on when the professor was there? So did I get a sense that there was magic in the dolls?
If the professor, so in our house rule, you cast detect magic in one of two ways. One where you're revealing magic for all to see, or one where you're doing it silently, quietly.
Doing it
And the professor was doing it secretively.
Okay.
But there are now two dolls that seem to be putting on a doll show for you.
So it's kind of obvious.
She's now trying to entertain you and get your attention.
Are any of those dolls hollow?
They're probably not solid. It looks like they're made of a combination of wood and maybe a little bit of porcelain or alabaster, and then they have like dresses on them, but the dresses might actually have precious metals in them.
If there are any fine-sized holes in any of the dolls?
Okay, the doll that she's left behind right now is Bassie.
Yeah. I think Pixel's gonna see if she can climb into the head of the doll or something like that and light it up.
Okay.
Just out of curiosity.
Cassandra's got her back turned.
This doll.
Cassandra's got her back turned at this moment, and she's basically trying to get the Elephant Man's attention.
So Zephyrus looks up at her and says to her, "Little girl, have you ever been to the zoo?"
Zoo? No. I hear they have a toothless manticore at the zoo.
Ever seen animals perform tricks before?
Poopsie knows tricks.
Yes.
You're really not getting where this is going, are you?
No.
I'm not that kind of elephant.
Annie's saying you're sad.
Sad might be one way of putting it. I would just say I don't particularly care to be bothered.
Don't worry. You were a good student.
Thank you, I think.
Oh, Mr. Blue, are you all spaced out again? She's shaking Mr. Blue. Oh, look at she's glowing! Mr. Blue, look, Bassie's glowing! She's looking inside Bassie. I knew you were magical. Poopsie's growling at Bassie. No, Poopsie, no! It's Bassie!
So Zephyrus looks at this and he sees the dolls and he kind of thinks to himself, well...
The doll's eyes are glowing and there are weird cracks in it behind its porcelain head that are all glowing. There's this blue kind of sparkling glow coming out of it.
So he looks at it and he goes, these are dolls that a little girl is playing with that are magical. And he kind of evaluates that along the same level as saying, you know, it's not my circus, not my monkeys.
Right. Okay. The elephant man is observant, but distant. All right. Eventually, a guy does come into the cart. He comes from the back way, the way of the sleeper cabins. There are two Turk guards. TERC. It's an acronym. It stands for the Trans-Ether Railroad Company. And these guards come from the back of the train. Now you know that front is better because that's where first class is, and all their cars are there. And then you're in the middle, and then behind you will be all the cargo trains and the cattle cars. The cattle cars is where you would have ended up, where a 3-day journey, and you bring your own food and water. And maybe with livestock, depending on what is back there, or big beds of coal. Not a pleasant way to travel. But the Turk guards basically come in, they sort of look around, people seem to straighten up, they don't stop and talk to any of you.
What do these lads want?
They do glance at the Fant, they just raise their eyebrows like, holy shit, that guy's big. They just sort of ignore the dwarf, they ignore everyone else, and they just make their way. They paused for a moment and they do see that Vespa is there. She just presents a document up to them. One of them grabs it, looks at it. Seems to be in order. And they continue on. If it gives you any trouble, says one of them. He's got like a small cudgel in his hand. He's fine. And these two guards just pass through onto the other carts. You can see the weird blue of the ethereal plane outside kind of like glows in as they're traversing between the rail cars.
Those look like the tough lot. Myself, I abhor violence. So uncivilized.
Eventually, a swarthy skinned man comes in. He's in a uniform, and he seems to be checking for tickets.
Ooh, tickets.
As all of this is happening, Zephyrus just observes that everybody except him can kind of smoothly move around in the cart. There's enough space for everybody. He's got to kind of scooch around between stuff.
Yeah, you're very big. How tall and how heavy? I kind of took a guess. I wasn't looking at your character sheet when.
I'm trying to see. Is it on my character sheet somewhere?
Yeah, you're 9'3", 730 pounds.
Jesus, yeah. No, Zephyrus.
Yeah.
Okay. Ticket, madam.
Present a ticket.
Yep. He punches it.
Am I authorized? Will you allow me to be here?
Yes, you have a ticket.
Thank you so much.
He raises an eyebrow and just continues on. He doesn't mutter under his breath. Excuse me, gentlemen, can I ask you for your tickets?
No, yes, of course. It's in here somewhere.
The tiefling leaning at the bar basically just pulls a ticket out of his pocket and hands it over his shoulder in the rudest way possible. This guy punches the ticket with this little metal thing that he has.
Professor will fumble through what seems like an endless amount of pockets, pulling out perhaps a weird item or two in error, stuffing it back in, and finally producing his ticket.
Ah, here we are. Ticket.
He seems to, while you were looking for it, Bukerbeck basically jammed a hand into this jingling bag of coins and rustled around and produced the ticket. He put a hole through it. He goes up to, he stamps yours as well, or punches a hole through your ticket and gives it back. Ludo?
Ludo like gives him a sheepish like smile and like produce the ticket, but it's folded as like a little bird. He goes, I got bored in line.
He like this seems to annoy him. He puts the thing away into a pocket and he starts uncrumpling the ticket. And now he's having a look at it. He gets held up a little bit here.
Ludo kind of rocks back and forth while he's sitting at the bar, just waiting.
He eventually just clicks a hole through a certain part of the ticket and hands it back.
Ludo gives him a very large grin. Thank you, sir. As soon as he leaves, he leans over to Chalmers like, that wasn't a real ticket. Ooh, that's the trick.
Chalmers gives him one of these.
Was it a fake ticket?
Yeah.
Or this is the one you won?
Sure.
So you're saving the ticket. You made Did you make a forgery? How did you do this?
Just a piece of paper.
Oh, so you're
just folded.
You were trying to distract him. Okay,
yeah.
Give me a bluff check.
Okay. Yes. Well, I guess that's not sleight of hand. Then. should I even roll?
Oh, is there a prison car?
All right, hold on.
Yeah, sorry, I rolled in front of everyone. I rolled a 20.
It was
a
D20. This guy's real good at his job.
He unfurls it and just kind of sticks it back to you, and then takes out his punch card or his puncher and just sort of clicks it a couple times.
I look expectantly at him. Drink token?
Ooh.
Pocket linked?
Your ticket or the brig?
Very well. I'll work on it better this time. He pulls out a legitimate ticket. It was all for fun.
He looks pretty pissed at this joke. He seems to choke down his anger though, like he's acting professionally.
It's a 3-day ride. What do you want me to do?
He clicks your ticket. No more trouble out of you. And then he looks to the bartender / confectionery person, like he's the one that's going to tell him if you're causing any trouble, and he moves on. He's a bit sort of flushed by the time he gets to Zephyros.
That was a bit of fun.
So Zeph looks at him, turns around, and opens his hands, and there's nothing, and up comes this little tusk. And right at the tip of the tusk is the ticket.
Okay, he doesn't seem, after that last, he doesn't seem to be impressed by tricks at this point. He just slowly takes the ticket, puts it back, and puts it in your empty hand, and then moves on. He kind of has to climb over your leg, because you're so big. He goes over to the dwarf, and
Oh, I was in first class. I just came back here to hang out with these people. Don't worry, I'm safe.
You shouldn't be here, little girl.
The people in first class are so boring. All they do is drink and be rude to each other, and then mommy's doing private.
Okay. Because here,
yeah,
people are drinking and being rude to each other. It's subtle. It's sus.
all right, as long as your mother knows where you are.
Yes, I'll be fine.
He just sort of looks down and sees all of her dolls and Poopsie and the fact that she's being left alone. He goes over and collects tickets from the others. There is a very large man. You think he's a half-giant. He's approaching the bar and just seems to be waiting. He's glanced at Ludo a couple of times.
Ludo kind of eyes him back.
He smiles like a friendly smile to you.
Surprised, Ludo pivots on his hind end and spins around to face him. Hey!
Bossman, you remember?
Were you in a crew, man?
I was in a crew. We worked together.
Really?
Different crew, but I remember you, Bossman.
He trudges across the bar and plops down next to him. Which mountain? Which mine, I guess.
Badlands all look the same to me.
Yeah, I feel ya.
You speak in? He says in perfect halfling.
A little shocked and stuttered. Yes?
I was raised by Halfling Mumu.
Really? You fit in a... Okay, well that's cool.
He takes his shillelagh and shows you basically the biggest halfling sling staff you've ever seen.
Ludo's
They
jaw
made me
drops.
this, and he says this big happy grin.
Whoa. You pretty good with that, or?
He nods.
Well, that is unique. What are you drinking?
He just puts down the 3 tokens.
Do you drink?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got a party.
He just looks over the others and he smiles.
I did not expect to see a Yonden on the train.
Yeah. It's pretty, but you wouldn't think I'd be able to afford this seat, would you? Or you'd be allowed. Kind of laughs as he finishes his last little swig.
Using the commotion of that, I will casually walk over to this guy who's very jovial and clearly has money, and say something along the lines of,
My word, that half-giant speaks perfect tin.
Oh, I didn't notice.
It's quite astounding, really. You good sir. Now you look like quite the man of means, I would say.
I am a man of the cloth, and it is a fine cloth indeed.
So it is. Perhaps I could regale you with a story of adventure and discovery.
We got 3 days
Perfect.
and 3 nights. We're going to have to purchase a few more of these tokens.
Yes, I think you're right. We'll have to keep our eyes open. I hear they may be rationing drinks on this guard.
The Shakasta bartender just kind of looks deflated that the group of you are just going to spend 3 days drinking. The Fant is kind of like scooting over on his.
Is there something you would like, sir? Please, the bar isn't for sitting.
Oh, come now. This bar has got plenty of room for our good friend here. And besides, it's a bit too tall for him to stand comfortably.
Please don't make me have to go and get the officer.
Is he saying this? Is he looking at me?
Yeah, you're walking over the bar.
Oh. Well, I thought this was a halfling-friendly bar. I'm sorry. Do you have a box?
Yes, I can fetch a box.
And he moves some things around and kind of underneath kicks out a box that has some, like, it's made for, like, a crate for bottles.
Right.
And you tip that upside down and you're able to stand up at the bar.
I look over at Manny and just see if he'll help me pop the box on the other side of the
Manny's gargantuan.
Thank you.
Not quite as big as the Fant, but he's like a... It is good to finally meet a kindred spirit again.
Ludo kind of takes a bunch of linen napkins and makes it into a cushion on his little box.
Yeah, boss man, I did not think... I gotta differentiate his voice from Lucrebec's voice.
Right.
Yeah, boss man, I did not think I would meet another Yond in here. I grew up in Yond.
Ah. Now, did the Yondan do your hair like that, or is that a choice thing? You're a stylish man.
Woman did this.
Woman.
he just laughs a bit.
Mandreas, my friends call me Manny.
Manny, I like it. You look like you'd be quite the workhorse. I feel like I'd remember you.
Yeah, you think you remember them on the crew. Okay. Like, there are lots of big and strong people working in mining.
Don't remember that weapon, though. That's pretty cool.
He likes that you like it, and you get the sense that the story that you learn from him is that he was orphaned to some Yondan halflings and was actually old enough to remember the pastoral, wonderful pearl called Yond before its fall. It was during the fall that the halfling people and refugees spread throughout the Great Wheel. At first, many took them in, but as the years went by and it became clear that Yond was no longer a place that could support a population, refugee status over a long period of time became sort of synonymous with burden. You've had to live your entire life as a second-class citizen. Your recollection of Yond is only in slight smells of like a happy halfling hearth with food. You remember just being a kid. But apparently Manny remembers it a bit better than you, and his halfling's not bad.
Yeah, it's quite good. Ludo kind of looks straight up, trying to meet eyes with Manny. So what brings you onto this train?
No work?
No work.
No work, boss man.
Yeah. Everything's dried up, huh?
It's not safe. People are getting angry up there.
Tell me about it. Part of my motivation on this train. Ludo kind of chuckles to himself. Kind of knocks on his helmet.
Get people angry, boss man?
Nah, just salty.
Did you two say you're looking for work down there?
Always. These fine boots don't pay for themselves, as he points down. They're all tattered. You can see his socks.
Tell me, gentlemen, have you ever taken a break from mining and done any excavating of the delicate sort? Looking for artifacts, trinkets?
Is Pixel hiding while she's moving?
Pixel's gonna go ahead and just fly back normally.
Bassy, where'd you go? Where did you go? Shaking it. She's kind of confused by it. What's Pixel's int?
What is Pixel's int? That is a fair question. Let's find out.
1920 by 1080.
6.
Okay, so she had fun. Whether she picked up a lot of it. Pixel does come back and she speaks to Pharisee. She says, I found dolls. Dolls were like, could put things inside. They one doll felt cold. One doll saw lights. One doll was fun.
Were they haunted?
She nods.
Oh, good.
Girl over there is nice. Don't like the dog. And then she says, bunch of menfolk imbibing or drinking.
Yes. Yes, I can see that.
I heard your song, and she gets really excited. And she likes your song.
I will make another one.
We make trouble today?
We'll shape the trouble that comes on its own.
Okay. She giggles.
Like we always do.
She's happy at that.
I'll go ahead and pull out another flute.
Chaotic neutral, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as the trouble's not too cruel, she's okay with it. But playing tricks on people is fun.
That's fairish.
Yep.
Yeah.
She thinks that the dwarf is easy to anger.
Ah. Can I chat with Vespa?
Yeah.
How are you doing here in your corner, trapped in your corner? One bound by iron and the other by honor?
Ear flicks at that and she looks up at you.
What do you think, Blade? Do you think the Gif is jealous of the freedom of these others, trapped in their smoking box, hurtling down the rail unerring?
You're a curious thing, aren't you? Very curious.
Almost remember being truly free. Almost.
She invites you to sit next to her or like across from her if you want.
I'll sit there.
She's glancing around. She might have seen the light. Were there not two of you?
Pixel will go ahead and hop onto my head and glow for a minute and then stop.
It is a curious sight, fairies. I have not seen your kind here on this train.
We are curious by nature, I suppose they say.
What brings you to the Badlands?
Get out of those slums of the city for a while.
She nods like she understands.
See if I can see something green and growing in the soil, desiccated as it is.
It is somewhat green in the spring rains.
Out here?
But very fleeting. They say this place was once a bountiful place, but no more. When the
Many
rivers ran
places.
dry, so too did our people fall.
Yes. I think many places were once fertile and it is the autumn of these worlds.
Does your hair change with the season? She says.
Does my hair change with the season?
Does your hair change with the season?
Here it is always autumn.
She seems to like process that for a moment.
Not quite the dead of winter, but you can feel it, can't you? It's always nearby.
She doesn't seem to be sure. But to answer your original question, I do not feel trapped. He definitely is trapped. There's a bounty on his head.
Ah.
Didn't pay his debts or something.
Fuck your frickin' cat.
Didn't have the paper to give them?
She nods. It is better than gold these days.
More people think it's useful than gold. I think one day it will be fertilizer. If I collect enough zents, I can grow my own plants.
What the fuck are you? Some sort of toothpick?
I said quiet, or I'll cut your tongue out.
You're not gonna.
There are few of my kind. I call my kind Pharisee. That's me.
What?
Pharisee.
Don't mind him. He's a dullard.
Bakuba is wanted by some lord or another.
Ah, wanted. How does that feel?
No,
Good to be
Lord.
wanted, isn't it?
Nah, you got it all wrong, cat lady.
Enlighten us.
I am Boku Potamu. They will pay my ransom. They will pay my bail.
I really don't care who pays what after I get your bounty.
And then you will be free again.
Yes, I suppose in a way I am trapped to this Neanderthal. This hippo.
Ah, fuck you, cat.
All a matter of perspective, isn't it?
Interesting. Are your people inherited?
I never inherited anything.
It's a flying toothpick, is that what it is? Look at it. You got a nice little potted plant to put you in back home.
The soil might feel good.
Ah. It's a chalking bush.
I'll stretch.
Yep.
Which I can't do in manacles.
Pixel's kind of going. And Bokabu doesn't seem to like that. You give me a knowledge local for Boku Batamu.
Great Wheel?
Yep.
$24.
The Boku Batamu are basically like a united and varied tribe. They include a lot of the inherited races, which are the anthropomorphics, and some others, maybe even goblinoids. It's kind of like like a loose collection of tribes, almost like gangs. There is one thing amongst the Boku Batamu that is perhaps, maybe two things that are redeemable. They're supposed to live by their word. Like they're not a heavily like lawful organization, but their word is their bond. And they are often really chaotic and give the lawful types a hard time. It's at this point that there is a man that briefly walked out of this back room to storage area, or perhaps like a small kitchen, and I need perception checks because this man both terrifies and brings back horrible memories for at least two of you.
Not Pharisee. Pharisee doesn't care.
On Zephyrus, he can't break away from the 11, 12, and 13s.
The old perception check? The old wisdom? The old D20 plus 1 untrained?
Hey, alright! This is a bunch of guys not seeing nothing.
Look at that guy.
Did any of you? What did you guys roll?
Jack shit.
I got an 83.
You got a 3. Okay, so you're so interested in talking to the priest of the god of wealth. Like, yeah, this is your happy, like, the gods must be smiling upon you.
I got an 11, and Pixel got a 7.
With distance modifiers, it effectively means that you got a
Negative
-9. So, okay.
Zephyr's got a
Not
13.
dressed like a clown, I guess.
Got a 13.
Yeah.
And what did Pixel get?
7.
Okay. All right, so this guy comes out of a back room and then just goes to the sleeper car.
And none of us notice.
And none of you notice.
Wow, that's impressive.
All right, so some time passes. The Turk steward had already collected tickets and had disappeared through the back way. This is much longer before. I'm going to give you a chance. Let's see. How many people are in the car? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16, 17. There are 20 people. So give me a D20. Just a single D20 roll from one of you. I'll do the first one. Who's got some reason to go into the sleeper car is basically the thing.
I'll give you a
Doing the roll.
1d20.
I mean, is the bathroom there? I'm pretty old.
17.
Yeah, so 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right. Some of the Nizumi. This is where the train blows up. Like the beginning of Borderlands 2. The 60s pretty old. Okay, it's the Nizumi children that ended up kind of like their parents maybe nodded off for a moment, or they're not paying attention as they're having a meal. And the children had opened up the doors between the sleeper cars and were playing. And eventually they kind of come scurrying back. And you overhear someone saying, Mommy! Mommy! Yes, what is it? What is it, dear?
There's lots of children in the sleeper car. Can we go play with the children? Yeah. There's a funny-looking halfling in a hat.
Oh. Pharisee and
Cassandra's now like looking and like
Pixel are going to actually fly
okay, Pharaoh
towards
say
the sleeper car.
we'll do a round full of action. So Pharisee hears that as there was a lull in the conversation with Vespa. You kind of had lots to talk about with the stranger, and then the conversation sort of lulls. Yeah. And then you overheard that. You notice a bunch of people turning around, like they don't know what the fuck's going on. The dwarf was trying to sleep, and Pharisee actually has wings. So these weird gossamer kind of leafy wings came from her back, and you're like an average flyer.
Not that good.
Okay, so she gets just enough height to go over the bar. She tipped over like a glass that was half empty or full, and kind of flutters past Manny.
Kind of around it, but yeah.
And then managed to land. And their wings folded back up. You guys heard the Nizumi getting excited about children overrunning the sleeper car.
Some sort of commotion over there, I think. Children in the sleeper car. I don't like children touching my things.
Perhaps some of the people from the cattle car have come up to the sleeper car. We've had some thefts, says Serathis, who doesn't seem to be rushing to go to help.
Don't you think you should do something about it?
I'll go fetch the guard, he says, as he's now kind of putting a towel down and, like, he's in a huge hurry, but he's going to go in that direction.
I think it's haunted.
Ludo, what are you doing?
Haunted.
Ludo
say
is
to the
upset
children.
that he just heard about possible thefts, and he kind of looks at his half-empty or full glass and goes, "Just my luck." And he's gonna go to get off of his box, kind of head that way, and trip because he's been drinking, kind of make a lot of noise.
Alright,
And he's gonna like kind of tap Manny while he looks down the back of the hand.
Manny stands up, picks up his staff, and picks you up.
Thank you. Sets me down.
Alright, Zephyros, are you doing anything?
Yeah, he's getting up. He's kind of grumbling about the fact that people are now spilling drinks at the bar, and this place is just going to shit. So he's just he's afraid that the same is happening where all his stuff is. So he's just going to head back there.
Okay, so you stand as a move, and then what's your movement rate?
Oh, jeez. I actually don't know. I actually don't know what my movement rate is.
I think it's 30.
Probably.
Should be on your character sheet. Speed.
It's usually
Speed
right
30.
under.
Yep.
For some reason, my search is not popping up.
All right, so
Never mind,
so
it's
a
30.
move to stand, and then you're kind of going through some difficult terrain, so you probably only get
He's scooting through like this. He's just grumbling, saying something slowly as he's moving.
All right, so you're currently stepping through difficult terrain, or you could be squeezing. Which of the two?
He's squeezing, and he's like, "Pardon me, excuse me, pardon me, nothing's here." Squeezing through.
He's big. Poopsie's just. Okay, squeezing means you're at -4 to attack and -4 to your AC, as you're kind of like going sideways and trying to shuffle through and off balance. It is a thing that you may have to get used to as a big creature. All right, Professor, were you going to take an action?
I am going to keep an eye on the bartender and this commotion and look for an opportunity to perhaps fill my glass back up with whiskey or take a few drink tokens when no one's looking. The Chalmers family is a bit down on its luck lately, as it were.
All right, so Serathis is spending this round putting his stuff away. And then he's like flipping open the bar. The place where I drew with the gray lines is like the bar kind of flips up, and he's gonna move his way out. He starts heading towards the front. Vespa just simply stands up, but she looks reluctant to leave her prisoner's side. You're not too sure what would happen in the car, like where the gift would end up going. Now, none of you have opened up the windows yet. But some of you have been on this train ride. You are going through the ethereal plane at this point. And every so often there is this archway, like a circle, in which the tracks of the train is sitting in the ethereal mist.
Oh, cool.
That is pretty cool.
An hour into your journey, you have left the Pearl of Bostera Badlands, and it is a 3-day journey through the ethereal plane to get to the Grand Central Station. There are guardrails along the connections between the trains. Like, it would be very hard for you to jump off, and it's probably not advised. You would have to roll knowledge planes to know what might happen to you if you manage to like eject yourself from the train. You just know that it's bad, and there's lots of signage that basically warns you not to leave the train. And the train perfectly fits underneath these archways, which happen very periodically. Like, we'll say once every 3 rounds you're going through an archway at this speed. That exiting the train may be very dangerous indeed. Thought I'd just tell you where you were trapped, so to speak.
Hey, we're here by choice.
Yes, that's the only way to ride. Or is it? We're getting way far ahead of ourselves at that point. Okay, what are you guys doing? Next round of actions, go ahead and move your tokens around.
Yeah.
The Serathis is now moving to the front of the train, and is opening this door.
Yeah, it seems we've lost our bartender, gentlemen. Can I interest you in another drink?
Booker Beck is glancing over his shoulder. But that would not be fair.
Oh, fair?
Fuck fair.
Sounds like you're thirsty, my friend.
Okay, so you're moving into the bar area?
I'd probably glance over and reach over, sleight of hand,
Okay.
pour us up another round.
Okay, so you're kind of reaching over and basically pouring another round. Ludo, Mandreas, Zephyros, Pixel, Pharisee, what are you folks doing?
I'm going to cast Heightened Awareness on myself
Okay.
as a bard spell.
Zephyros, there are a lot of spellcasters on this train.
Yeah, he notices that. But he doesn't say anything. He's just observing. He doesn't say anything about that. He doesn't cast any spells. He's just observing.
Okay. Pixel's trying to open the door, but it's too heavy for her, so she's just kind of like buzzing around the handle and trying to jump on it. And but Pharisee, you move, and there's this slightly tinted window. And as the train was kind of going along a curve, you couldn't quite see into the next car. But then it finally aligned along a straight path, and holy shit! There is a bonanza of thievery going on in the sleeper cars.
Damn it.
There are what look like street urchins running in and out of sleeper cars, grabbing things. There's enough of them that they are creating like a laborer's line. And there is a conductor to this madness. This really, really colorful looking halfling. He's got basically what looks like a pot on his head and weird sort of garish garb. The halfling man is standing on a crate. He has a sling in his hands. And the children look like they are passing things into a particular cabin. This seems to be the cabin where the halfling is. They're running in and out and like grabbing stuff. And the creepy. You don't see the creepy man that you didn't see before. So,
I'll yell out, these aren't, these don't look like, gremlins. They look like street urchins.
they look like human street urchins, yes. And they are robbing this place of anything that isn't bolted down.
I'll actually yell out, filthy thieves!
Okay.
Ludo perks up with the word thief and looks at Manny. He's like, I think we might need your help, buddy.
He just gives you a nod, kind of fast friends with Manny. Next round of back. Oh, Zephyros is
Stop
basically
haunted, it's
moved.
infested!
Will Zephyros fit in there?
Yeah, you'd have to just squeeze. You have to squeeze through those areas. Okay, so Zephyros, next round of actions. Feels like Pharisee is opening the first door.
Yes.
Now you're in that kind of space between the trains.
Yes.
There is like a little walkway. As long as you're not doing horrible things, there's no chance of falling.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and walk over and open the other door if I can.
Okay, so you open one door as a move action, you walk over, and I'm going to move you to the other map.
Yep.
And now you're staring through the window, angry, as it does look like they have robbed your room or in the process of robbing it. You can see one of them with the tray of cacti.
I'll say in Sylvan, I'll say the good stuff is forward.
Okay. This is Zephyros.
He's gonna move forward as well. Obviously at a little slower pace.
All right, so 15 gets you to the opened door.
Right.
Another 15 gets you breathing right down behind Pharisee. Now, because you're large and the space between the cars actually has enough space for you to walk,
Mm-hmm.
you could also be in Pharisee's squares because you're large and she's small.
Okay. But first I say, do you see anything?
Yes.
And then before I get an answer, I peek through and I go, oh,